So this is going to be our first time testing a new microphone too. So definitely let me all know what you think of it. This is my new mic we're testing out until I get another one as well, just to have a backup one. But also for this video, I promised you all I did a video kind of earlier in the year like this, where I talked about kind of just mental health check-in and talking about how it's okay to be, sad or down or depressed, all that kind of stuff. And just talking about like that just means you're human. It's okay. Go check out that video. I'll have it linked in the description down below. But today I wanted to do another video kind of similar in the same vein as that video. Today I wanted to talk about my struggles with depression and how even though now I've felt like I've made huge strides in my life, that I still do have moments where I battle with depression, even as an adult. So let's discuss this. Roll it. So yes, depression is a hot button topic because this is something that I feel like even if it doesn't struggle with it a lot, even if you're a person who doesn't feel that way, that it does touch your life in some form or fashion. You do know someone that has been involved with it, or you have a brother, sister, mother, father, or a loved one, like your, significant other, and they battle with depression. So I feel like this is something that everybody could kind of understand. For me, it's been one thing that like when I was a child, and more of a teen, like it kind of grew and grew, you know what I mean? It's one of those things like when you're going through life, you just don't really know where you're at. There's like those points where you're trying to figure out who you are and who you want to be and stuff. And then you get into these ruts where you're just kind of beating yourself up mentally. And that's kind of what it is like for me. Depression is more of a huge mental battle where it's something that it just kind of festers in my mind. It grows. And then I think about things and you beat yourself up a lot. And then you kind of get this way about yourself where you don't want to do anything. You kind of just get into that, like I said, a rut where it's just you feel like you have no motivation to get up, to clean, to watch things, to record things, or do anything like that, just examples and stuff. But like I said, that's one huge thing for me is it's always been a huge mental battle. And that's what's kind of crazy too, is like I've never really had like a crazy hard life. I mean, everyone goes through struggles and trials and tribulations and stuff. Like my dad was kind of in and out of my life. I did get to know him a lot more as an adult later in life and stuff like that. And then my mom raising me, she was a single mother, but I always had my aunt and my grandpa around to help out. So it's not like I didn't have support or people around me or even friends. I always had friends too. It wasn't like I was like significantly bullied or anything like that. It's just, that's what I mean. Depression is a thing where it's like a monster where it just creeps into your mind. And it's like, you don't necessarily have to be going through hard times or struggling through, a relationship or anything like that. It's just something that it's a feeling and it sits in your mind and it grows like a seed, like, from a seed into like a plant into a tree, and just eventually it takes over. And that's what it kind of feels like. And that's another thing is my depression as a teen and going into my college years really led me into addiction. And that's kind of like depression and addiction. They're kind of like almost two sides of the same coin because it can lead you down that road because you end up wanting to self-medicate. And that's pretty much my whole life, how it's always been. I've never been one of those people that went to a doctor and was diagnosed or had, pills from a doctor or a pharmacy or anything like that. I was always one of those people who self-medicated. You know what I mean? I got hooked on hydrocodones and oxys and pills like that, marijuana, drinking, all that kind of stuff. I've always been someone who self-medicated when it came to my depression. So that's one thing too, is it's always been an uphill battle with me when it comes to that, because there was times where I significantly was leaning on those things and that addictive nature of myself to make myself happy and realize that you really aren't happy. You know what I mean? That you're kind of letting the depression win because you're just sinking inside yourself and not really, reaching out and talking to people. And that's one huge thing is like now we're talking about what I do to heal myself. And one major thing to battle depression was opening up about it and talking to other people about it. And because when you talk about it, that leads into other things where you're being open and honest with others. They understand you more, and your loved ones can hear you out more, and they can see the signs, so they're able to help you. But also you get to realize you meet other people who are currently battling it or going through similar situations, and they're able to comfort you or console you because they understand what you're going through. And that's why talking was a very huge thing. Another thing is do things that you love for you. And I'm talking about, like I said, not that addictive stuff, not addiction shit like I was talking about earlier. I'm talking about, like, for me, one of my favorite things to do to just kind of cheer up is to clean my house, but I'll put on a vinyl record. I'll put on one of my vinyls. I have a nice collection. I'll just jam some good records from back in the day, and I'll go around. And cleaning feels so good because when you're cleaning your house, it's like you're also cleaning your soul. You're picking up things, you're moving things around. And, even if it's not fully clean, or you're doing the whole entire house just to actually move things around and get that motivation in your soul and your heart, that's what also is going to get you out of that depression. Like, for real, you have to get up and do things. And I know that sounds hard because when you're sad or you're depressed, that's what's really going on, is you're beating yourself down and you're stopping yourself from doing those things. So really, you have to get up, you have to be active. Another thing is working out or doing yoga, like those kind of things, which I have kind of laid back on that. I am not going to lie, I've been kind of lazy when it comes to working out or doing yoga. And now that it's getting warmer, I definitely have to get up on that. But those kind of things where you're working on your body in a positive way, or you're, like I said, listening to some really good music, or you're, like I said, cleaning, those things are really good things that help just motivate you and get you into a positive vibe. And this is always something that's going to be very hard, because I know depression, like, some people have it really bad where you do have to go to the doctor. Or even me, in all honesty, I probably should go to the doctor, but I don't really want to actually get like pills or medication like that, because I know certain people, some of them that I've talked to them, and that kind of changes who they are. But those are some people that they really need it, or they really want it, or they go there and they need that doctor's opinion. So it's just, there's all kinds of ways to feel better and to heal yourself and to get out of depression. Don't feel like it's a forever infinity hole. You know what I mean? This is something that you can fall down into, but you could definitely get back up. And if you need help, there are people that can lend you a hand and pull you out of that dark hole, because for real, depression can be a very deep dark hole, and you don't want to sink into it too much. And again, these are just my mental health check-in videos. I always said that in my intro, or not my intro, in my last video. I'm not a therapist, I'm not some expert. I'm literally just a father, a husband, a son, a YouTuber. But I'm just being open and honest with y'all and talking about my problems, or being open and met with the mental problems that I have, where it's like, it's good to talk. And that's a big thing that's gotten me through things, and being open and honest. And this is always something I want to keep doing on the channel, because these are important things to talk about. Stressful things are going on in life. And there are many reasons to be sad and depressed right now, because if you look around the world around us, there's a lot of horrible things going on. But you can't always control those things. You could control what's going on in your home, your body, around you, your friends, your family, and surround yourself with that supportive people that you love. That's another huge thing too. So like I said, there are tons of people out there, even me, Norn Rat subscribers. If there's something going on, or you're having troubles, or you want to talk, hit me up in the comment section, drop a comment, just talk about what's been going on. And I would love to discuss with you, because like I said, having that ear, just being someone who can listen. And if you're not in depression, but someone who's going through it, just being able to listen can go a very, very long way. So thanks for sticking around with me all for this video. I know this is a little bit of a different one, but I promised you I wanted to do more videos like this throughout the channel this year. So thanks for sticking around with me all. Please like, share, subscribe, do all those fun YouTube things. But most importantly, you all know what's up. Stay happy, stay healthy, but stay safe. Peace out.